Hi, and thank you for joining me. I'm Dr. Bradford. I'm a naturopathic physician practicing in Phoenix, Arizona at Living Wellness Medical Center. Now, this time of year is the time for bad horror movies, costumes, and piles of candy. But nothing strikes fear into the heart of America quite like the beginning of another flu season. So in tonight's short webinar, I'm going to share 5 ways to help support your immune system during these winter months. Let's start off by talking about the flu. What is the flu? So the flu is an infection of the upper respiratory tract. It's a viral infection caused by the influenza virus. And every year the makeup of the virus can change a little bit, making it sometimes difficult to treat and also giving you the opportunity to be infected over and over again since the virus changes and your immune system has to adapt. What are some symptoms of the flu? So common symptoms of the flu include fever, although it's important to note that you may not always have a fever with the flu. Other common symptoms include cough, fatigue, sore throat, runny or stuffy nose, muscle aches, headaches, and lastly, and also found more often in kids, vomiting and diarrhea. Now, according to the CDC website dedicated to information about the flu, they say that, quote, most people with influenza will recover in several days to less than 2 weeks. So if this is the case, if most people recover, then what's the big fuss about the flu? Why do we hear so much about it? Well, the big fuss could be potentially related to complications of the flu. There are certain populations that are at higher risk for complications of the flu. These include young children, adults over the age of 65, pregnant women, and people with chronic medical conditions. Now, what are the complications of the flu? Some of these can include pneumonia, bronchitis, sinus infections, ear infections, and in some people, this can actually be fatal. Now, there is some evidence that shows that the fatality rates are actually more related to the complications of the flu rather than the flu itself. One example is like a bacterial pneumonia, which can be a complication of the flu. So there is a fuss. It can be dangerous, but we can do things to protect ourselves. And how do we protect ourselves? I believe that your immune system status going into these winter months, or flu season as they call it, is probably the most important factor to determine whether or not you'll get sick this season. And whether that's getting sick from the flu itself or from the hundreds of other diseases that cause flu-like symptoms. So tonight I want to talk about 5 things to be aware of to help protect yourself in these upcoming winter months. Number 1 on the list is micronutrient status, specifically vitamin D. So vitamin D, we make it. It starts out being made in the skin when we're exposed to the sun. So in these winter months when maybe sun exposure is a little bit lower, that can decrease our vitamin D status. Vitamin D is involved in the regulation of 1,000 different genes. It's a potent protector against certain cancers, such as breast and colon cancer. It's also a protection against autoimmune disease, and vitamin D helps support things such as healthy bone density. Vitamin D in the research has actually been shown to stimulate the production of virus-killing immune cells. One type of these cells is what we call CD8 T cells. And so these are components of the immune system that actually go out and kill viruses, which influenza is a virus. Vitamin D also stimulates production of other antimicrobial immune cells, neutrophils, monocytes, natural killer cells. All of these play a role in the immune system's ability to fight infection, whether that's bacterial, viral, or whatever. Vitamin D deficiency has been shown to put children at higher risk for respiratory infections. So it's important to get your vitamin D level checked. And it's a simple blood test that you can have done at your doctor's office. The normal range of vitamin D is 30 to 100. So this is a pretty big range. And ideally, you want to be between 60 and 80. That's where you really start to see protection against autoimmune disease, protection against certain cancers, and overall health. So that's number one, vitamin D level and micronutrient status. Number two on the list, what are you eating? What are you putting into your body? And basically, don't eat things that feed infection. A couple things on this list include sugar and refined carbohydrates. These two food items have been known to feed bacteria, feed fungal infection, and feed yeast infections. And so this can weaken the immune system and make you more susceptible to a viral infection, such as influenza. So if your immune system's already compromised a little bit, you're more prone to getting a viral infection. So what are a couple things that you can eat, that you can introduce into your diet in these winter months? Something called fermented foods. So things like sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha, that's a beverage. These are loaded with probiotics. One serving of homemade sauerkraut has way more probiotics than you'll get from any kind of probiotic supplement off the shelf. We're talking like in the trillions. Most good, high-quality probiotics have maybe around 50 billion probiotic per serving, and these fermented foods can have in the trillions. And so these are excellent sources of probiotics, which helps improve digestive function, helps improve immune function. A big majority of our immune system function lives in the gut, and so when we heal the gut and support the gut, then we support our immune system. Also, eating antioxidant-rich foods. So these include vegetables and fruits. Aim for 9 different shades of vegetables a day. This will enable you to get a wide variety of antioxidants, each one doing different things. And so get a variety of foods, focusing on vegetables and whole foods, fruits. So what you're eating, that's very important. What's next on the list? Number 3, proper hygiene. When it comes to the flu specifically, most adults are able to infect others about a day before they notice symptoms themselves, and also up to a week after becoming sick. And so that's like the contagious period. Most experts believe that the flu virus is spread through droplets. And so this can come from when a person who's infected talks or sneezes or coughs. And these droplets can spread pretty far. They can spread up to 6 feet. And so when it comes to hygiene, what are some things that you can do? Avoid people that are sick. And if you're sick yourself, stay home. Use those sick days. Don't worry about that. Stay home and get better and get healthy. Washing your hands regularly and effectively is a basic thing that everybody should be doing. This helps spread the virus, helps prevent the spread from your hands to your nose to your mouth. It can also help prevent the spread to other people. So practicing proper hygiene is essential. Number 4, adequate sleep. When we sleep, our immune system ramps up. If we don't get adequate sleep, we're going to have a really hard time fighting off an infection. In 2015, the National Sleep Foundation recommended new sleep times. So ranges of hours of sleep based on research findings for different age groups. And in general, we find that the younger that you are, the more sleep is recommended. So I'm going to rattle off some of these. This may be new to you, it may not. Older adults, so 65 and older, are recommended to have 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night, up to 9 hours and not less than 6. Young adults, 18 to 25 years old, 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Recommended possibly up to 11 hours, but not less than 7 hours of sleep. That can be tough when you're in those college years and burning the candle at both ends, but sleep is important. Teenagers, ages 14 to 17, it's recommended that they get 8 to 10 hours of sleep, up to 11 hours of sleep a night, and not less than 7 hours. School-age children, so 6 to 13 years old, they're recommended to get 9 to 11 hours of sleep a night, up to 12 hours, and definitely not less than 7 hours a night. Preschoolers, ages 3 to 5, 10 to 13 hours of sleep a night, up to 14 hours, and not less than 8. So those kiddos, they need lots of sleep, especially if they're trying to fight off a bug or whatever. Toddlers, ages 1 to 2, they're recommended to get 11 to 14 hours of sleep a day, and up to 16 hours. That's a lot of sleep, not less than 9 for toddlers. Another couple things to talk about when it comes to sleep is something that's called sleep hygiene. So some tips, just basic guidelines to help improve the quality of your sleep, improve your bedroom, make it a sanctuary, make it a place where your body can really get some rest. So having your room be a little bit cooler, in the low 70s, if you can handle that, that's been shown to improve quality of sleep. Also, not being on any kind of electronics for at least an hour, maybe up to 2 hours before going to bed. This will limit your exposure to what we call blue light. Blue light can disrupt the body's production of melatonin. So not having a television in the bedroom, also not having your cell phone next to your bed. If you do need to use your cell phone as an alarm clock, a lot of people do that now. Keep it across the room, put it in airplane mode. This shuts off any kind of electronic communication back and forth with the phone that can actually disrupt your sleep as well. If you do need to be on your laptop or your phone right up until bed, there's a couple of apps, a couple of programs, and also built-in features of some phones that can help limit your exposure to blue light. There's a free download, an app called Flux. This is for Mac or PC. For your laptop, this actually uses your time zone setting on your computer. You put in like your time that you're going to go to sleep every night, and it will automatically adjust the display of your computer to help reduce exposure to blue light. Also, the iPhone. I personally use an iPhone. They have something called night shift mode. This is something that you can enable. You can set it to automatically turn on when sunset happens and turn off when sunrise happens. And this shifts the color scheme of the phone to decrease the amount of blue light that's coming out of the phone. So last thing, when it comes to sleep, sleeping in total darkness. This can help boost melatonin production and help get you a higher quality sleep. So whether that's using a mask, like a sleep mask, or getting some blackout curtains if you have windows in your room, or you can even get some black plastic, like from the paint section of your local home improvement store, and put that up in the window. That's actually what I do in my house, in my bedroom, and I've got curtains in front of the black plastic, so it's not an eyesore, but it blocks out the light. When I'm laying in bed, I can't even see my hand in front of my face. And so having a super dark room can help improve quality of sleep, for sure. Number 5, last one that we're going to talk about today is stress management. Stress is the silent killer. We'll never really be able to completely get rid of stress, but we can learn how we respond to stress. And some things that we can do to help respond to stress, help calm our body down and relax, things like meditation. I love using apps. A lot of people have smartphones these days. One of my favorite meditation apps is something called Stop, Breathe, and Think. This is a really cool app. It's free in the App Store for Android or iPhone. It's awesome. You should check it out. Another thing that you can do to help with stress management is breathing, focusing on your breathing. We take tens of thousands of breaths every day, and a lot of times we don't ever pay attention to how we're breathing. When we're stressed out, our breathing changes. And so doing some deep breathing exercises can really help. I don't know if you've seen this on the grocery store shelves last couple weeks or last month or so. Time magazine came out with a special edition called Mindfulness. There's a lot of really neat articles in here about stress management and that kind of thing. And there's one on page 23 that talks about breathing exercises. Benefits of deep breathing include improved mood, deeper sleep, less anxiety, better oxygen intake, and a healthier heart. And so one of the breathing exercises that they talk about here is something called alternate nostril breathing. This is something that has its roots in yoga and yoga practice. So you're basically breathing through one nostril, so plugging the side of your nose, one nostril, taking a deep breath in, and then plugging your other nostril and breathing out, and then breathing in, switching, breathing out, and doing that for maybe four or five rounds. By doing that, you're actually stimulating what we call the parasympathetic nervous system. So this is the part of your nervous system that helps you relax, helps you calm down. So if you haven't tried that yet, try that alternate nostril breathing. It's awesome. You can also just do a basic breathing exercise where you're slowing down your breath, breathing in, holding it for a period of time, and then breathing out. A lot of people do like a 4-4-4 pattern. Breathing in for 4 seconds, holding it for 4 seconds, breathing out for 4 seconds. A couple other things to help reduce stress, maybe starting something called a gratitude journal, where at the end of the day, you're writing down 5 things that you're grateful for. This can just be a simple list, or you can embellish and get as detailed as you want. Having a gratitude attitude can really improve mood. It can improve sleep and overall help you be able to deal with stress a little bit better. Last thing on the list for stress management is doing something fun every day. As we get older and busier, we forget to do fun things. So pick up a hobby. Do something fun for yourself every day. To recap, so the 5 things: micronutrient status, specifically vitamin D. Vitamin D is going to help boost your immune system and help you fight off respiratory infections and other types of infections. Number 2, don't eat things that feed infection. Avoid sugar and refined carbohydrates. Maybe introduce fermented foods and antioxidant-rich fruits and vegetables. Number 3, practice proper hygiene. Wash your hands. Number 4, get adequate amounts of sleep for your age group. And doing some of those things to help improve your bedroom and improve your sleep quality. And then number 5, finding some ways to help manage stress. Stress can compound any kind of illness, make it harder to recover, and lengthen the time of recovery and all that kind of stuff. So find ways to help reduce stress in your life. So what if you're already sick? What can you do? A couple things that we offer here at Living Wellness Medical Center are high-dose nutrient IVs. By putting the nutrients in an IV right into the bloodstream, you bypass the digestive system. You're able to give much higher doses of some nutrients. One in particular, vitamin C. As an IV, you can very safely give high doses of vitamin C, which can help improve recovery, improve your body's ability to heal. A couple of other modalities that we practice here at Living Wellness Medical Center are acupuncture. Acupuncture can be great for symptoms of congestion, cough, fatigue, all the things that go along with the flu and respiratory infections. Also homeopathy. There's hundreds of different homeopathic remedies that can be very helpful in recovering from an infection. Also, we've said it before, but I can't emphasize it enough, getting enough sleep. If you're sick already, you need to sleep, and oftentimes more than what you would normally sleep. Also, eating light. When we eat, we bring a lot of energy to our digestive system, and digestion and absorption takes a lot of energy. And so when we're sick, a lot of times we naturally just aren't very hungry. And so honor that, eat light, broths, soups, maybe steamed vegetables, light things that don't take a lot of digestive energy. So in conclusion, our bodies have the ability to heal. I'm a firm believer in that. Symptoms are not the enemy. They're a manifestation that the body is doing something. It's fighting off some type of imbalance, some type of infection. And when we honor that and when we support that, then we heal even faster. So on behalf of the doctors at Living Wellness Medical Center, I want to say thank you for joining me, and I want to wish you a healthy winter.